Dun, dun, dun.
We are back.
We return. Happy
Dude, it's been a while.
2023, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy 2023. All right. Checking in on chat. We got Rose coming in, letting us know that it's 123, 23. Which is kind of fun. I like that. What's up, Rose?
Hey, Rose.
Oh, all right. We're back. So today we are going to be testing out a little theory that we've had kicking around the office on if someone would be able to make a comic book using only artificial intelligence tools. You think we can do it, Matt?
Yeah.
Do you think it's the right thing to do?
Okay, so I have some issues. Do you want me to get into them now?
Yeah, man. That's what we got to talk about.
Okay. So, AI art. I mean, it's one of it's a game changer. It really is. I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And as far as how these, well, where, how do I say this? The AI art, it's all based on the input that is put into it, right? It can't just come up with something out of nothing. It's got to be trained somehow. So a lot of artists are, their work is being put into this AI art in order to learn, and there's no regulations as far as if that artist, if their work is copywritten. These guys have put in thousands of hours to get to just to get to their skill level, and now somebody come in and literally copy everything about that. To the point where I've seen AI generate art that was almost one-to-one identical to copywritten material.
So where do you draw the line between that and somebody using reference material?
Okay, with reference
like
material.
We'll say like a comic cover, just as
all right.
example.
Now, when I was learning to draw, one of the things I did was I grabbed every Dan Jurgens and Bray Fogel piece of art that I could find, and I was trying to recreate it on a one-to-one basis. Due to the fact that I was still learning, it wasn't there. It was not at that one-to-one. It just wasn't. That being said, now that I've grown as an artist, when I'm drawing, I can actually look at my drawing and still see some inspiration from Dan Jurgens and inspiration from Norm Brayfogle. But I don't see that exact piece of art. I see my own creation, my own interpretation.
So how would you differentiate then the interpretation that software would provide?
The software can create a one-to-one exact recreation of the art. It to the point where I could actually go in right now and create something that looks almost identical to Chad Hardin's work. And I could even pass it off as Chad Hardin's work. I mean, to kind of the untrained eye. That being said, Chad Hardin would get no money from it. He would get no recognition from it. I would be ripping off the customer.
But in that situation, that would be your decision to copy someone else's art one-to-one. You would just still be using the AI as a tool to do what you're doing. So using that as an example, that would just be an example of somebody that's just going to copy and plagiarize somebody else's stuff no matter what. Using AI, systems to develop that art or to create that art just streamlines the process for them to do evil. But I mean, so the argument can't really be for the hammer to be the bad guy in this situation. It's the person swinging it, right?
Okay, yes, in that particular instance, yes. But what about a lot of these AI programs that are using copyrighted material? There's no
Mhm.
way to opt out as an artist. All you have to do is put your work online, like say on Instagram, to show off. Hey, this is what I've done. You post it on Facebook. Hey, check out this new piece of art that I've created. Um, Under no circumstances is there an option to opt out of, I don't want my work being studied by this AI art,
Mm.
by this AI generator. Uh, there's no way to opt out, and if there was a way to opt out, there's no way for the AI to forget about your work. So I truly believe that it should be not an opt out situation, but an opt in. Artists should be given the chance from the get go. Hey, do you want your work studied? At that point, I could make an informed decision. Yes,
So
yeah, sure.
do you think that whoever created the original version of Comic Font, say Comic Sans or, any of those that follow, that they should be giving
Are you
royalties
you're
to
talking
the
about
original
Comic
comic
Sans the
letters?
font?
Yeah, like any font that follows the comic platform. So,
They
I mean,
had
Comic
the
Sans is just
option of putting it in the public domain.
Mhm.
That was an actual choice by them. So yeah, if somebody wants to use Comic Font, go for it. Unfortunately, it's Comic Sans. Please don't. But what I'm saying is, if you want to, it's free because the original creators said go for it.
Right, but the original creators weren't the people that made the font. The font was just generated by usage of computer algorithms and help with the computer system. I mean, at best, somebody maybe sat there pushing the pixels around to line up the exact way that the lowercase a should align. But even then,
The
it was still built off of the lettering from original Golden Age comics. So that wasn't their creation. It was still just a replication of something that came before it. I mean, in the same stature, we both use Photoshop for work all the time,
yes. Mm.
right? Um, so say we do a 3D mock-up of a book and we want to apply, three-dimensional lighting effects to it. We didn't put that light there. We didn't even create the photography style that is mimicking or that comes from. You know what I mean? But I mean, you're aware as I am, like Photoshop is good enough that we can select if we want it to be a ring light style or if we want it to be a tube light or incandescent or halogen. So wouldn't we be then doing the same thing, the reproduction of other people's elements?
Well,
I
okay.
mean, see what I'm getting
I mean,
at is that,
now we're starting to nitpick though,
but that's
because
still just an AI platform. You're still using a
true,
very
but
basic artificial intelligence, but it's still the same thing. The
now
difference
with
now
something
is
like
that
Photoshop,
it's more
though, I
powerful.
create something original, essentially, using hundreds of pieces. So I actually had to, in my other job, create a business card, and they wanted a picture of a house.
Mhm,
Um, so we went on a particular website where you can purchase images, and they didn't like any particular house. They wanted a combination of over 20.
mhm,
So I sat down, and this is all for a background of a business card, keep in mind.
mhm.
I was like, this is a little busy. Um, I was able to purchase all of these images, which meant I was able to use those. And so I used elements from each individual piece to create essentially a brand new house. Now with AI art, um, I could. recreate almost one to one the cover of Batman, the first issue of the Hush series,
Hmm.
easily within seconds.
Hmm.
And it changes it just enough to where copyright laws are gray,
Hmm.
where it's not
Yeah.
necessarily black and white. Is that fair to, well, I hate to bring up DC Comics, but is it fair to DC Comics?
So see, I would say yes.
Why?
Now, the reason I would say yes is because it would also be fair if you made an homage cover with a pencil and paper.
Okay, there's a difference between an homage cover and
There
like,
the only difference in these 2 situations is that
mhm.
on one, you have to push the pencil across the page to create what you're trying to do, and on the other, you just type in a series of words.
Now see, here's where we
Granted, one of them's
disagree
much
with
faster.
a an Amish cover. Let's say I'm able to take my character and recreate Action Comics #1, the cover, right?
Mhm,
Where Superman's smashing the car. I could actually take my character and put him in that position. Um, Maybe change up the car a little bit. Maybe, it's my character, not Superman. I have somebody running that looks similar but is slightly different. You know, I
mhm,
there's quite a few things I would change with AI art. I mean, I could literally put Superman in there.
mhm.
The only difference is the S might be a little weird because, in all honesty, AI really seems to still have a problem with typography. Um,
Typography and fingers.
yeah, I noticed
Fingers
faces
are
too.
fingers are just
Um,
terrible for it. I've seen some AI art where, like, I saw somebody try to do a lifelike Peter Griffin, and he had, like,
oh,
12
oh,
fingers on each hand, and you're
oh,
like, but it still looked okay, and you're like, "This" it just your brain knows, though? Yeah, it's interesting. Here, let me check in with chat here real quick.
okay.
Nobody's loser comes in and says, "Hello, oh my god, long time no see." I know. Matt keeps me locked into a closet, he never lets me out. Vav comes in and says, "Yes, though you will need a human editor, this is a topic we will be talking about tonight, so stick around." Nobody's loser says, "AI can't do hands, but other than that, it's solid." As we just mentioned, yeah. Well, Dominic comes in. What's up, Dominic? Says howdy over on Facebook. Joe Frazier over on YouTube says, "Hey everyone, what's up, man?"
So,
Nobody's illusion says, "Interesting." Bab comes in and says, "You guys are making the wrong arguments. The AI is an infant. What you're worried about is already over. That boat has sailed. You really need to be concerned about or with what it can do in 2 years or 5 years. There is no original when it comes to AI, as it's essentially all of human history to draw from. And using only open source, its material is far more creative than any human will ever be. This is also a topic we'll be talking about tonight. And we're going to trick it. Haha. Dominic says, I always like these conversations. They make you think. Thanks, bro. Nobody Loser says, so when are y'all going to make the comic? I'm curious as to when it'll come out. Okay. So let me clarify this really quick here. So what we are going to do is we are going to make the basis of a comic. We're not going to go through and build page by page. This stream would last months at that point because
yeah.
let's be honest, Matt here, he's a DC fan, which means that he's going to constantly try to make my comic book suck, and we just couldn't work together like that.
Ouch.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Geez. And then we got some bots that are offering to promote our channel. Just promote it. We're not going to pay you. You promote us. No, says, oh, snap. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to come up with the very infancy of a comic, which is what creators would sit down and do as kind of, I've heard people call it day one or
Mhm.
brainstorming. Um, some other people call it like their hero sheet. Some other, I mean, there's a bunch of different names, but essentially what we're going to do is with the help of the chat, we're going to sit and we're going to talk about AI and the benefits and the negatives that come into this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use it to make the creative basis for our comic from art style all the way over to the writing style, which is where it starts getting, I think, really interesting because AI is much more than just art at this point.
Oh yeah.
So what we're going to do though is we're going to utilize you guys in chat to help us come up with these ideas, and we're going to let AI kind of run with it. And we're going to see if the ideas that it spits out is something that would honestly be interesting enough to make a comic about, just to see if these are feasible or have feasible usage as a tool set. Now, the reason that we're sticking with the tool set part of things is exactly what Matt was talking about before. It's still up in the air and very questionable if even the legality on this stuff is on the up and up. Um, as Matt had said, it can take a specific character and recreate them and stuff like that. Obviously, we don't want to do that here. It might spit that out for us, though. I'd be interested to see, depending on what type of prompts we give it. But that's the thing, is that as a collective kind of brain here between us and chat, we're going to try to come up with those different prompts and see what we get. At the same time, you guys can also try this and then let us know what type of things you guys come up with as you do it. So um, there's a lot of tools out there, first of all. I mean, there's a lot of tools out there. We are going to limit this down for the art to Mid-Journey, just because we're more familiar with that software, and for the writing to ChatGPT, because we're more familiar with that software. That is in no way a limitation of what you have available to you, though. I think for images alone, what is it now? Like 12? There's like 12 major AI releases for images, if I remember right. I think there's 12. All right, let's see here. Nobody's illusion says she cracks knuckles. All right, it's my time to shine. Let me know what you want, and I'll come up with something. All right.
Cool.
So,
Do it.
okay. So the first thing is, before you can get to art on any type of comic, you've got to come up with a basis of your storyline so you know what type of art to go for.
Hmm.
So let's look at the very basis. We're going to just say that this comic has one character, just to keep this kind of simple and easier for us as we do this with the AI. Let's start figuring out the dynamics of that character. So I'm going to call on chat. And guys, if you want me to call on you, just chime in chat, and I'll try to include you. But this way we don't get like 55 people all saying the same name and somebody getting upset that we didn't use theirs or somebody else's. So Nobody's Illusion already said that cracking knuckles. So let's do this. Nobody's Illusion. We need a character's name. Let's start kind of wonky here.
Okay.
Let's see. And while we wait for that, Vav, you're in the chat I see right now. So Vav, give us the home location of the character. Let's do that.
Ooh.
Dominic Colby, I see you in chat.
Guys, I want you to get crazy creative with this stuff.
Yeah, get as weird as you can. Let's try to keep this PG.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm
But
saying
get as creative.
I mean, you say Rome. I want to hear, like, what
Rome,
about
though.
Rome? Like, are we talking in the Colosseums? Are we talking like
What time frame?
during a battle? Yeah. Like,
Ancient
is it
Rome?
Rome?
Modern Rome?
Yeah.
What
Futuristic?
nobodies? What are you doing to me? Hey, Dominic, I saw you chime in. Give us something that the main character is looking for, so that we have some type of revenge, adventure, justification.
Keep it
A
PG.
Maserati.
Keep it PG.
Oh my lord! Nobody's Illusion says the name is okay. Apollo
von Thunderburger.
Underberger.
All right, that's a name.
Yeah. Okay. Um, let's see here. I'm going to roll back real quick here because Vav had said this. I wanted an example of ChatGPT's versatility, so I had it explain Heisenberg's uncertainty principle as if it were medieval. Jeez, it was amazing what it came up with. That's a good test of versatility.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Vav says he lives in the catacombs in the future. Okay. Catacombs of Rome. Futuristic. Okay.
I will. Can I say this
Hides
real
from
quick,
the
though,
AI.
guys?
Yeah.
Okay. We do have a badge that was generated via AI. And stick around to the very end to get that badge code.
Only one? I thought you were gonna make like 3 and sneak them in throughout the show without telling you. No, I'm just kidding. I was
I
just
I
joking.
can create more.
I'm just trying to make everybody get anxiety a little bit. So like, wait, was there 3? How many are there? Somebody's gonna ask at the top of the show.
All
All
right.
right, Rose says, write my concept in a couple of weeks will be my journey in pictures for the last 7 years that I've taken. Okay, Rose, you're in chat though. Now you have to help with the story. So let's see. What's something I'm missing here? So hard to like think of all the key points that you should hit.
Okay, we have what the setting, we have the characters, we have the plot. Um,
We don't really have a plot yet. We're waiting for that one still.
I thought that
Um,
was he's hiding from the AI.
oh, okay. I see this now. Yeah. So Dominic comes in with the plot line saying the main character is an ex murderer looking for atonement.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Whew. Okay. So let's do this then. Rose, can you tell us what type of murderer our main character would be? King Daniel comes in over on Facebook saying, "What's good, guys? What's up, man?" And now you're in chat, so you have to help us with this. You have to help us as well. So,
There you go.
King Daniel, I'm going to need you to give us an art style by artist name.
Can we stay away from artist name?
Let's do somebody. What
Just
about
going
classic?
back to where I was talking about earlier. Maybe if you went with somebody that
Mm,
their art
okay.
would be in the public domain,
Okay. So let's
Leonardo da
just
Vinci, Picasso, something like that.
let's keep it more generalistic then. Let's just do an art style, but be as creative as you can think, King Daniel, and name an art style that you would find being the most creative. Bob says AI went all Roman emperor. The wizard just says the patch. Let's see. Novizu says there are 5 key elements to every story: plot, setting, characters, point of view, and conflict. Well, we do still need a conflict.
There you go.
So should that be? Let's see. Should we ask Rose for the conflict? Maybe put Rose on the conflict.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Rose Kirby, if you could give us the conflict that Apollo von Thunderberger is going to run into. And the wizard says, according to Google, I should have Googled this. King Daniel says, Joe Mad. Yeah, we're going to go with a style. Go with a style, not a name. I probably shouldn't have said that. Rose Kirby says, so what's the Hulk? How does the comic go? What's the Hulk? Hulk is a big green man. Sometimes he's just tan, like Matt. Tannish. King Daniel says dark and detailed. Okay, so you're doing the art on this, right, Matt?
You want me
So
to?
make note of no. Just start making note now. So dark
Okay.
and detailed. Dominic Colby says after stream, can you post links to these toolkits for us to attempt this in our own time? Yeah, I can put up like a list of different AI tools. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could. Hopefully, creators don't get all angry with me for doing so. But yeah. King Daniel says, hey, Matt, I love you.
I
Oh.
love you too, man.
He comes back and says, Frey, I love you guys. You're all my heroes. Whatever, man. I came second. I see how it is. I see how it is. Oh, okay. So Rose Kirby says, I think the best way to kill is poison, an unknown poison. So unknown poison. So I'm going to assume then maybe the unknown poison could be um, that could be the conflict, that the poison is unknown.
Hmm.
Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen. We're going to start seeing, yeah, and the conflict is that you don't know who's done it. Okay, so this is ChatGPT. This is a textual artificial intelligence. Now, there are a few things about ChatGPT for everybody to know. ChatGPT was locked down in 2021, which means any type of world events, anything like that that happened after that, ChatGPT will not know. ChatGPT's also known to occasionally produce, well, they say, occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content. Again, because it's built using an algorithm that combed the internet for content, it might come up with something super, super similar to what we've already heard. We're in no way trying to step on any toes. We just want to see what this thing is going to do. So, as a prompt, what I've put in is I need a futuristic and creative storyline. Um, oh, you know what? We need to know, is this man, woman? You know what? Let's let ChatGPT figure it out. A character. So I need a futuristic and creative storyline featuring a character named Apollo von Funderburger who leaves their home of the catacombs of Rome in search of atonement for murder with an unknown poison. All right, let's see the magic happen. And as you can see, AI is now building a story for us. Holy crap, this is already really creepy. So I'm going to go ahead and read this just because I think it'll be really difficult for people to read on the stream. But Apollo von Funderburger was a man haunted by his past. He was born and raised in the dark catacombs of Rome, where he spent most of his life studying ancient alchemy and the art of poison making. Despite his knowledge and expertise, he couldn't shake the guilt of a murder that he had committed using a poison that he had crafted himself. In an effort to find atonement for his sins, Apollo decided to leave his home and embark on a journey to find a way to make amends. As he traveled through the barren wastelands of a post apocalyptic world, Apollo encountered various challenges and obstacles. He encountered mutated creatures with bandit gangs, but also met kind hearted survivors who helped him along the way. With each step, he struggled with his conscience, questioning whether he could ever truly be forgiven for his crime. As he journeyed on, Apollo discovered a new purpose in life. He found that his knowledge of alchemy and poison making could be used to help others rather than harm them. He began using his skills to create medicine and antidotes for the sick and injured, and his reputation as a savior began to spread. Eventually, Apollo's journey led him to a mysterious, advanced civilization that had managed to survive the apocalypse. Here, he was granted or greeted as a hero and offered a chance to start anew. He was able to use his knowledge to help this new society, and eventually, he was able to find peace and redemption for his past actions. Apollo von Funderburger's journey was not an easy one, but it taught him that even the darkest of pasts can be overcome with determination, compassion, and the will to make amends. Holy crap, that is creepy, y'all.
That's cool.
That is insane. Dude, that's like that's a whole ass storyline.
Yeah.
And it actually, I like Mad Max, so this actually kind of sounds right up my alley for something I would dig. It's like Tank Girl with an alchemist.
Uh,
Okay, let's check in with chat here real quick, guys. What do you think of that? After I've read it, jeez. All right, King Daniel says, "I'm still trying to get my books into the system. I've just been busy, guys. No problem, bro. Things are going live. They're going well. So make sure you get them up in there so we can help you make some money, dude." Rose Kirby says online poison can be put in the food. There's no trace of it at a certain time. Okay, Rose, chill out, man. You know, we're in the U.S., Rose. We got the federal government watching these things all the time. Nobody's Lou just says, "Dang, that is insane." Vav says, "Now, if you ask it to explain parts, it will give you details of the story." That is true. We're gonna try not to go too deep into that, though, just because, again, we don't want to have a stream last an entire month. We're already halfway through our allotted time frame. Dominic says, "I really like this." Okay, so as Vav had mentioned, here's where it gets really crazy: is that this artificial intelligence isn't designed to just spit out an answer. It's designed to actually communicate back and forth with the end user. Nobody asked for it. This is too early. Why do you do that? Why? Why do you do that to me? Take it down, Matt. Take it down. Damn it, Matt. This is why we can't have anything nice. Stop it. Dude, I will revoke your controls. I will do it so fast. You have no idea. Where's Jared when you need him? Anyhow, okay. And then Joe comes in and says, "You can ask it to change things or elaborate, etc." Crazy tech. AI goes rogue. Okay, so post-apocalyptic. Let's find out what caused the apocalypse. What do you think? Matt, we're trying to make people focus. You're muted and you're just sitting here flashing stuff up. And you're clicking the wrong buttons at this point. Well, I'm muted.
That was fun though.
Give me a hand here. Okay, so did we find out what caused the apocalypse?
I like the stories where it's you don't know like what caused the apocalypse. Think
Well,
of like
wait. I'm just trying to I'm just trying to show how the tool set can
okay.
evolve and adapt based on your input. What would you want to ask it right now? What would you want to find more information about?
Hmm.
What about for the character design, clothing?
Yeah, there we go.
Would that be helpful with the art side?
It would.
Okay, so what type of clothing would Apollo be wearing? I'm interested to find out if it recognizes Apollo. Oh my god, it did. Apollo's clothing would likely be practical and durable, suitable for traveling through a post-apocalyptic world. He would likely be wearing a combination of rugged, sturdy fabrics such as leather or canvas. Are you taking notes of these, Matt?
I'm
You're going to have to
trying
generate
to.
art with this stuff.
Yeah.
With additional layers of clothing for protection against the elements. Given that he lived in the catacombs of Rome and it's a post-apocalyptic world, it's likely that Apollo's clothing would be a mix of modern and medieval styles. He may have a leather jacket, pants, and boots, but also a tunic or a rough spun shirt with simple pants, maybe even a cloak to protect from the sun or cold. He may also have a utility belt. I love utility belts, man. He's got cargo pants with pockets and pouches to hold tools and supplies, such as a knife, compass, or flint. As he becomes more important in the new society, his clothing may evolve to match the fashion of the new society, or he may wear something that symbolizes his status, like a medallion or a certain emblem. Dude, this is insane. This is so cool. Can you do leather cargo pants? If you can, you'll know that I am never looking back. That's all I would wear the rest of my life. Okay, so Matt, I'm assuming by your quiet nature recently that you're inputting these things into Midjourney.
I am currently trying to get all the
Summarize
notes
them.
I can in order to organize it so I can
Okay.
put it into Midjourney and essentially see what it comes up with.
Okay. Now, another really cool thing while you're doing that, that I'll talk to the chat about is you can actually regenerate the responses. So if you don't like the response that you get, say it's too outlandish or say it's just not right, you can regenerate it and the artificial intelligence will go back through the process. Interestingly enough, it'll actually keep giving you different answers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. Going in, Vav says it's only an infant. This is Pong. PlayStation version is still 5 years away. Very true. It's going to be crazy, man. Like crazy. It's like we're living in the future. Nobody's Illusion agrees this is crazy. Another says leather. If they make leather cargo pants, I'm all in. Joe Fraser says you could probably even have it rewrite it in comic book script format, scene by scene. Should we try?
Yeah.
Can you write this story into a comic book format? And there you go. The answer is sure. Here's an example of how the story of Apollo von Thunderberger would be written in a comic book format. Panel 1, a close-up of Apollo, dressed in rugged, worn clothing and a cloak, sitting alone in a dimly lit cave. He looks
You know,
troubled and he's holding a small vial filled with mysterious liquid. It continues
I
on. This
actually
is insane.
should I just take essentially what it's written in panel one and see what we come up with?
Dude, I love that idea. Let's do it.
Can you copy that and send it to me?
Yeah, I kind of don't want to stop generating though. I want to see how far
It
this thing
should still
goes.
keep generating, right?
Yeah, it's just okay. So, panel 1. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to send this over to Matt directly. I will be putting this in. Should we use it word for word as the prompt? That could
That's
be
what
kind
I'm
of
wondering.
okay. Let's try it. Let's just see what happens. Um, then, as he's doing that, I'm going to continue reading here. Panel 2, a flashback of Apollo committing a murder with the poison from the vial. Panel 3, Apollo standing outside the cave, looking determined as he sets off on his journey. Apollo 4, or Panel 4, Apollo trekking through the desolate wasteland, encountering various dangers such as mutilated creatures and bandit gangs. Now, see here already, as a comic fan, here's some elements that I'm seeing that a human would recognize as downfalls. So, A, Panel 2 shows him committing the murder with the vial, but in our storyline that we've actually already processed out, he didn't understand how the murder had happened. And that was kind of a core mechanic of the storyline. So it's kind of interesting to see that it's already starting to give us some variation from what we're looking for. Now, of course, we could go into ChatGPT and kind of continuously style this and update it and push it and process it. But from a one-to-one perspective, you could see how a human interaction is still needed. This definitely goes back into what Vav was saying, though, where is human interaction still needed because it's in its infancy, or is it because we just weren't specific enough with our terms originally? So, how are you feeling, Matt? Are you feeling like we're good to go to keep going forward?
All right. So I just want to kind of show where we're at now. I just put a
Ooh.
close up of Apollo dressed in rugged, warm clothing and a cloak sitting alone in dimly lit cave. He looks troubled and is holding a small vial filled with a mysterious liquid. The only thing I added was hyper realistic, sharp, and then an aspect ratio of 3:2.
Ooh,
And
that last run an update on there started looking really cool. So those of you who aren't familiar with Midjourney is actually also going to show Matt the things that other people are making right now.
yeah,
So there we go. There's our first idea face of Apollo.
all right. So
That is
what
great.
do you think, everybody? Should we go for another round or should we use one of these, create a variation of one, or uh, essentially make a upscaled version of one?
Well, Nobody's Illusion says I like second one top right.
Top right. So that is number two.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me go find it again. That's the one thing I don't like about Midjourney is it will scroll on you so much that like you have to go
Mhm.
back and try to find what you were looking or what you were working on.
Dominic Colby says I like the bottom right. That is so crazy.
Now, the one thing I don't like about this is um, unless you use an image, it's not going to get very consistent. I mean, uh, the character might have red hair if I add, the
Mhm.
descriptions from the next panel.
D underscore Jax goes, greeting at CryptoComics. It is I, Gemmaling and General Madman. What's up, Jackson? How you
What's
doing?
up?
Vav says leather cargo pants would be likely need to be a custom deal, but you could do it. I think it might be worth it to you though, right? As long as your waist doesn't change. Hey, here's the thing: when you ride a motorcycle as frequently as I do, and you love cargo pockets as much as I do, it's really a win-win. If anybody could wear those out, it would be me. I mean, I am. Oh, you can't see it. I am wearing cargo pants right now. There's just about the only time I'm not wearing cargo pants is if I'm wearing basketball shorts or if I'm at a funeral. And even then, half the time, I'm still sneaking in cargo pants to the funeral. I gotta have a way to keep my Capri Suns. You know what I mean? Oh no,
Oh,
nobody's losing. Says Google leather cargo pants. The real. The last time we had a conversation that went along with the things that I dress and wear, I ended up with a pair of neon lit gold high tops that blew out on me at a convention. Do you remember those shoes? The light up ones? They were they were awful and great at the same time. Okay, so this is our first panel here. Panel 1, a close-up of Apollo, dressed in rugged, worn clothing and a cloak, sitting alone in a dimly lit cave. He looks troubled, and he's holding a small vial filled with mysterious liquid. I'd say that that crosses all the needs here, guys.
all right.
That is pretty crazy. So, in theory, we just generated the first panel, and we've already generated a rough storyline to follow. We've generated many other panels that we would just have to kind of fill in and fit and form and function. So I would say that this whole idea is kind of proven. You could make a comic and using only artificial intelligence.
Now, once
Now,
again, it is going to be off. Like I was saying, you're not going to get exact, like the facial features will probably change throughout the whole thing, the hair color, everything, unless you really, really dial it down. Now, I have
mhm,
seen some other AI, the art generators, where essentially you draw a picture and you use that as a base, and it will start creating variations of each one. Um, Keep in mind this one particular artist. He was by his own words sophomoric as an artist,
mhm,
but he was able to get the general idea, just drawing it out. Uploads that image, and it took him quite a few iterations, and he was able to get the arm right for that particular pose, and then the other arm, generating it again, tweaking it a
mhm.
little bit and generating it. Um, Eventually, he was able to get a very, very high quality piece based off of everything that he had put together himself. So
So
once,
here's my question then. This goes back to the top of the stream where we were talking about,
mhm.
really the argument for or against AI, artwork, writing, everything like that. Now, whose story is this? I mean, really, that's what this comes down to. If you and I right now were to continue going and make the entire comic book this way, whose story is it? Is it still our story? Further than that, is it still our art? Is it still our characters? Is it still our dynamic? You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of the pivotal question that most people are battling right now is who really should retain ownership of it? Or I've also seen a lot of people say that, hey, look, maybe with this invention, we're getting to the point to where people just don't retain ownership of ideas anymore. You know,
Well,
maybe that in itself is dated.
the only argument I could make for whoever typed in the initial prompt is
Mhm.
a long time ago, there was um, a long time ago, it wasn't that long ago. I want to say it was about 10, 15 years ago. There was somebody who ended up giving a monkey a camera and then tried to copyright those particular images that the monkey
Yeah,
took.
but I mean, Jared was on a lot of streams.
Well, yeah. No, but somebody else tried to use those, and the photographer sued, saying that
Mhm.
he owned the copyright because it was his camera and everything like that. The court actually sided with the person that was using the copyright, stating that a monkey cannot create art due to the fact that it is not human.
So I'm gonna put this one up real quick here because Hazen Krubs comes in with some wisdom. Oh, someone will own it. That's true. Right now, based on current copyright law, someone has to own everything. There has to be origination. It's just very difficult to put your finger on where that is now.
Well, are
Um,
you the owner because you typed it out?
or are you the owner because you created the artwork? Or further, did you really create artwork? Did I really
See, I would say no,
create a
honestly,
dynamic?
for me, on my part, because
Mhm.
I am a traditionalist. I do like to draw. I would say I didn't create that art. I typed out a prompt and Mid-Journey created this amazing piece of art. That's
Well,
what
here
I
we
would say.
go. Vav comes in and says it won't matter because someone will just be able to go to ChatGPT and ask it to tell them a news story, which is true. You know what I mean? So really, I think it's coming down to humans just arguing with other humans over which one of us should be the overlord of the hive mind computer.
Now, if it was me, I could understand using Chat GPT to, let's say I have uh, a bad case of writer's block, and I'm like, I can't think of anything to write. I could use that to generate an idea and be like, oh, okay, now I could, get
Mhm.
those creative juices going and write something that
Yeah.
I would be proud of.
And see,
Um,
that's what I love about AI. I see this as just a tool set. We and chat just came up with an original idea for a whole new comic universe, whole new series, whole new platform, whole new storyline, however small or large you want to think
mhm.
about it. And now we've got direction. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, as a creative person, the most difficult thing to do is to find direction. And the thing that I see of AI in its most powerful form is that it can give creative thinkers a way to align the thoughts that they've got. So rather than, no shortage of ideas, I'm sure everybody's heard that saying. It's one idea and no shortage, of process towards getting that idea accomplished. I think it's going to be really interesting also to see the way that dynamics in art change to for lack of a better term, compete with artificial intelligence art.
Now, one thing I am wondering about, sorry, how detailed can Chat GPT actually get? Like, could you write a college paper using only that and
Yes,
essentially get a grade for it? In which case, did you learn anything?
exactly.
Um,
I mean, that's really the conundrum here. You know what I mean? And again, I think it just comes down to the person using the tool. You know, a hammer can be a tool or it can be a weapon, depending on in whose hands it's in, and what type of person is going to have access to this. Really, it's everybody. I think
okay,
we're going to.
so Valve
Go ahead.
says the professor already tested this. What
Mhm.
what was the outcome? And how would a professor know if a student is using that? Because when I was a
Oh, here we
teacher,
go. Hold on.
I had people turn in stuff all the time that I was like, "Hey, this is way above your writing ability." And I would take a segment and I would just essentially copy and paste that segment into Google. And a lot of times I would find the original article. So I could be like, "Oh, you were plagiarizing here."
Mm.
Um, you can't exactly do that with ChatGPT.
There are actually tools that will literally just rewrite whatever you copy and paste in so that you cannot figure out where it came from. I'm not gonna list those because I those ones are very questionable,
Hmm.
but still. Hazen Cruz says also this is a moot point to most people, but this is not artificial intelligence. It is technically virtual intelligence. It is also very, very true.
Okay,
For
what's the
example,
difference between virtual intelligence and artificial intelligence then?
so an artificial intelligence essentially has the ability to think on its own, whereas a virtual intelligence can only think of what has been subscribed to it originally. So ChatGPT won't be able to come up with a new original idea. As original as this seems, it got every one of these words from somewhere, from mixing other storylines, from other elements that it's reviewed, from dialogue used after the term Apollo or after a specific naming style, to dialogue used to explain a cloak and what it would be used for. It was fed all of that information at some point, and all it's really doing is spewing it back out in a new ensemble.
Well, isn't that what we as people are doing?
But we as people have the ability for abstract thought, and currently that's the differentiating factor. Plus, I'm not sure if ChatGPT likes Pop Tarts as much as I do.
Well, that is a deciding factor right there. Because I've seen you with Pop Tarts and Capri Sun, and
It just means it's sentient at that point. We got Skynet on
okay.
our hands if it likes it, so I'm not even going to ask.
Yeah, but with Skynet, if Skynet really was into Pop Tarts, you could be like, "Whoa, only humans can make Pop Tarts," and Skynet would just stop and be like, "Okay, let's take care of the humans. Forget about the whole termination thing. Problem
Vav
solved."
says it wrote a paper and then graded it, and they can't tell because there isn't an original. It's interesting. Hazen Cruz says the quickest way to
Ooh,
differentiate AI from VI is that AI will not need prompts.
okay.
Rose Kirby says Chat GPT in pictures. Uh, Rosemary Kirby, what would it bring up? So Chat does just verbiage, Rose. Mid Journey, the tool that you see on your screen, that would actually be able to generate images. We'll let you guys do that yourselves, though.
I have actually seen one, I can't remember the name of it, that was generating, like, actual written out music.
Vav says, "Remember when your math teacher says you wouldn't have a calculator in your pocket, but now you have a cell phone? Well, now you'll have access to this at all times." Very true. What is the Elon Musk thing? The brain thing? And we'll just all have ChatGPT running nonstop for our thoughts.
Yeah.
Hazel Cruz says it will also care whether people like the work it creates or not and improve on it or adapt its process with or without feedback. That is a super, super good designation
Okay.
between AI and VI. I really like that. Facebook user, if you're coming in this way, it means you're probably looking on one of the groups that this stream has been shared out to. And it just means that you have to give access to your username and profile picture on Facebook because we do the right thing and we respect your settings. So if you want us to see who you are, you have to be able to tell us who you are. But it says, bro, you need to do a show about ancient aliens, Bigfoot, and crazy things like that. We do. Let's do a show about
Dude,
ancient
that would
aliens.
be awesome. Like, if
Let's
we
just,
add the comic spin and be like, "Okay, let's look at, old comics or something like that with, you know,
I've, bro,
about
I've
the ancient aliens, conspiracies."
like the old X Files comics. You remember those?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
good. They were
Or,
so good.
what is that one?
They were terrible. They were terrible, but they were great.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm talking about the new one that's flipping it's phenomenal. It's all of everything is true, essentially, all the conspiracy theories. Crap, what is the name of it?
Oh, are you talking about Department of Truth?
Yes, yes, thank
Okay.
you. Oh, that is
Yeah, I love
such a
it.
good
That's
comic.
actually that one's mint. That and technically it comes down from DC, right? Doesn't it?
I believe so. Like
I
it's
think
one of their um,
like a weird
imprints,
little
but it's not
yeah.
actually DC.
Tinian, so good. Not as good as Cosmic Ghost Rider, not his best work, but definitely great. Nobody's losing this. I heard someone wrote a whole book using this AI software. That is true. Multiple people actually have. Facebook user says, "It's your little brother." What's up, Matt? Sorry, but
Are
still
you talking
check.
to
I'm still
Fry
not supposed
or
to
to
say.
me? Because
No,
my little
I can tell
brother.
it's Matty Mans.
Okay.
I can tell he's the only person that would be like, "Dude, do Ancient Aliens," because he knows I love Ancient Aliens. Maybe it could be your brother. Could be anybody's brother. Dun dun dun. All right, Joe Fraser says there's a guy in Pocatello who made a great Bigfoot comic. Yeah, and we've been trying to talk to him about. We're putting it into the system. Crossing fingers. We'll
Well,
see.
there you
We're trying
go.
to make it work. I even did a post on social media a few months ago and said, "Hey, who would you guys like to see on our stream that hasn't been on here?" And 3 different people tagged him. I don't want to do any names or anything like that, but like obviously people like him. And it was people even from outside of Pocatello and stuff like that. It was really interesting. Bav says nobody was losing several of them actually. And the Facebook user comes back and says, "Fries, it's your snoochie." See, I told you it was Matt.
All
My Matt, not you, Matt. So, okay, here's where I'm going to blow
right.
everybody's mind. I have done this whole stream using AI at this point. Ready?
Okay, explain.
Okay, so first of all, okay, I'm going to do this. So, first of all, my audio is utilizing artificial intelligence to process and remove background noise, to change the way that my microphone sounds, and to do room correction around me, right? So, what's interesting is if I turn that off, you guys are going to see just how different I sound now, which might not be like a huge difference. Somebody like Hazen Cruz is going to pick this up immediately because he works in audio all the time. But so there's that. Secondary to that, if you look at my background, how it's blurred, how it has been blurred, that is also artificial intelligence going. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. So there you go. And third, I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but I haven't actually looked at my camera this entire stream. This is going to creep you out, Matt. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
But as you see, it looks like I'm looking directly at the camera. I am not. This is artificial intelligence moving my eyes. Sounds weird, right? But look, when I turn it off, this is where I'm really looking. How
Turn it back
creepy is
on.
this? And back on.
Oh, it takes away the glare on
Yeah.
your glasses.
But if I didn't point that out, most people wouldn't even notice. So I've been using artificial intelligence this entire time just because I wanted to see if anybody in the chat would be like, you can always spot AI. You can always tell. You know what I mean? Because there's always somebody that's doing that. But yeah, and it's a
I
dead
have
giveaway.
not. I just want to point this out. I have not been using that eye trick. Nope.
So the other funny thing is I got just about completely set up to where I was actually going to just use an AI generated version of myself, and I found software to do it. So it would just render me. The problem is it didn't move. It was too static. So it just sat still. The mouth moved realistically and the eyes would blink at weird times, but it didn't render outright. It was way too obvious that it was AI. So I didn't go with that one. But yeah. And then now Dominic says, "Yeah, I can hear it." Yeah, see? It's crazy. Nobody's Loser says Snoochie. It's off of a movie series from Kevin Smith. It's Snoochie Boochies.
Snoochie boochies.
Yes.
By the way, I just watched Clerks 3. Holy crap.
I cried.
Dude,
I
I was
cried.
not prepared for a gut punch in Clerks.
Rose Kirby comes in and says, I can only see pictures now. I love pictures. I love front covers of comic books, and all the pictures I take, I just want to compile them like a storyboard on Instagram. Even better, Rose, compile them together and make a comic instead of CryptoComics. Make a book.
There you go.
Rose's adventure in pictures. It would be awesome. Excuse me. See, you can hear that cough loud and clear because I'm not using AI to correct it. Let me go ahead and do that now. And coming back. Hazen Cruz says he has also made friends with me, an AI. A real one, not a VI. Nobody's looking. That's Bob says, and we're in the Pong stage. Just remember that. That's true. Yep. Within about a year, you guys will realize that this whole time Jared has just been an animatronic puppet. It's like Chuck E. Cheese with a creepy beard. I have so much fun when Jared's not on the stream. Just
oh yeah. So did you ever see that? This is a long time ago. This is just kind of popped into my head when you were talking about that. It was a picture of Steven Spielberg during the making of the first Jurassic Park movie. There's that Triceratops that's like on its side that was sick. So you had a picture of Steven Spielberg holding a rifle, and some lady lost her mind when that picture got released. She was just like, I can't believe you would hunt these animals and everything. Pretty soon, that's going to be our future. That's just how we look at things. You're not going to see the difference.
I'm going to one-up you. Right now, they're doing gene manipulation to bring back the woolly mammoth, which means that there's a very realistic possibility that we might really be able to hunt a Triceratops in a few years.
Okay, see, here's the thing. I could see, like, all right, we bring back an extinct animal, right? So, this one's all cute and cuddly, so we bring back another one. Next thing you know, we're going to bring back something that's going to make us the extinct animal. And ain't nobody going to bring us back. That's all I'm saying.
I wish that someone could bring back my dignity.
That ain't going to happen, dude. You're on this show.
All right. Well, let's wrap it out. We're at an hour. Real quick though, guys, little sneaky suggestion here. The Knights campaign is just about to end. They're killing it over there, and I wanted to make sure I remind everybody that they have said if they get to a certain stretch goal, they're going to add audio into their crypto comic.
Ooh.
So we are going to close out with playing their video once again because, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I want to see that audio in this comic. Because y'all know I'm already getting this comic. But I want the audio in it. Like, just too cool. So, any parting words of wisdom, Matt?
Nope.
What? What? Nobody's Loser says link, please. Go over to your favorite campaign site, because now it seems that if we say the name of those sites, we get slowed down on YouTube for some reason. Thanks, Google. Go over to your favorite crowdfunding website and just type in Night Graphic Novel. But it'll actually also be on this video. It's going to pop up here in a second. Vav says, AI has a point where we're close to being able to program DNA as easily as we program computer code. Just a thought. Okay, computer code is not easy to program at all. Like, I forget what podcast. I was watching some podcast and they said that it's honestly easier to program DNA than it is to write computer code, which kind of blew my mind. And the only reason I'm saying that is because they made the comparison between the two directly. I forget what podcast I was even watching now. Very interesting stuff. I'm all about this new Jurassic Park thing that they're doing, though, man. That's not what it's called. It's got a different name. Somewhere in Siberia. Huge, like, global effort. But to be honest with y'all, I really want to ride a woolly mammoth.
is over, beast.
G'day everyone, Martin Copping here. Now, I love comics. I think they are a fantastic medium. They're somewhere in between a novel and a movie, and we all know that I love movies. I'm incredibly happy to be collaborating with a wonderful company called Comics to Movies on a project that we've titled Night. Now, that's Night with a K. Night is a horror fantasy adventure where there's more darkness than day, and nocturnal creatures have evolved to become the apex predators. I love this story. We're all super passionate about sharing it with you, and I really hope you can check it out.
Night.
I'm not even going to try the accent.
Night with a K. Seriously, dude, I want to ride a mammoth, though. I think it would
Todd, I'll do it in a top hat with an American flag. That'd be awesome.
But it's in Siberia.
All the better.
Hey, why do you have binary code in here?
Code. Dude, totally, man. With a top hat, with the flag.
Would it use a saddle?
No, you got to go bareback on that thing. It's a woolly mammoth, man. Like,
So you just grab a tuft of hair and just go?
Hold on for dear life? Yes.
I think they're fast. How fast would a woolly mammoth be?
It doesn't matter. As long as somebody gets the pictures, that's all that counts, and it'll be good. And are we still live?
No, there's no way we're still alive.
Oh, thank God. I've been holding this one in for a while.
Dude, we should just remake Yellowstone with woolly mammoths. Me and you.
All right.
Let her rip, though, Tater Chip. Let her rip.